if you are the people responsible for this, we will find you.
Big breaths.
How's it going? Welcome back to the Here's the Craic podcast. This is actually quite weird because I feel like we haven't actually recorded a podcast on our lonesome for ever.
Yeah, there's been a lot of busy weeks.
I know, because we just finished wrapping up the Just Jar. Well, we're just finished wrapping up the Just Jar one. We've done the Just Jar one, which is very good. It's doing well.
Yeah.
The views are coming in. The followers are coming in. Thank you very much, Just Jar.
Positive vibes.
Which maybe just proves that man's wrecked the table. Which maybe just proves a theory that do people want to see three guys talking, or are we going to have to try and recruit two girls?
No, don't know.
To keep the dynamic sort of.
I just like the guests. I enjoy doing the guests. Like getting people on. They were just good crack.
And
it sort of hit or miss.
And it was good to not record in the studio.
The studio, I know. Dirk, it was classic. The G Star and all some setup.
Felt so spacious in there.
But yes, back to another lonesome podcast with just the three of us, so we'll try and keep you entertained for the next 30 to 40 minutes. I'm really insecure as well because I've set this timer and just so I know when the camera's going to turn off, and the last time I said it, it near blew everybody's eardrums off.
Yeah.
So it's made me anxious. But anyway, we'll get into it. How have you been? Is that a chain I see?
Yeah.
Has man got a necklace?
Is it a Jesus chain or is it
No, it's just a normal chain.
What made you do this?
Don't know. I just thought, fuck it, like it.
Remember I wore a chain?
I know.
Yes. That was an awkward moment.
You got told off.
No, it wasn't happening.
But you tried to sneak it as if like no one was gonna notice. So like the whole day it was this anticipation because we knew.
Yeah.
So basically, for those listening, give you a bit of an insight. We were all out at the Port Rush vibes. We were staying at the apartment, and we were out during the day.
I feel like we were going on such a long
Yeah.
story just to tell us.
We were out
We just
during
cut
the
this
day.
short and just say I went to Port Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ready
we were
for
out
a
during the
weekend.
day. We were getting ready, but like the whole day was kind of we knew about the chain that Shay got a chain, but Shay's girlfriend Aoife
was
did
a
not
big
know that he
job,
got
huh?
the chain.
But I had
So-
passed or remarked to her before about this, and I was like, fuck, that sort of vibe, the pullover t-shirt, the little link chain, like all those Love Island kind of style guys were. And I was thinking, fuck, that might look good in me. I might try that. And I said it to her, and she was like, not a fucking chance. Are you getting that? She wasn't having it. So then I just was browsing for my clothes and ASOS for the weekend, and I was like, came across this chain. It was like tenner. I was like, will I do it?
Yeah.
So I threw it in the bag and I didn't look back.
Did you send the
you put
bag?
it on.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Sure, that's what then, excuse me, whenever you're all waiting in the living room and I go to you, right, I'm going to put it on. So I went down to the bedroom, got it, and came back up and walked in, and like her reaction, she was like, get that the fuck off now.
And Aoife's reaction was probably more mellow because all of us were sitting
Yeah.
there as well. Imagine if you'd have walked in and none of us were sitting there.
Yeah,
I
I just
think-
would have got a slap.
I think like that's actually a good thing to talk about is the whole chain thing, because you see the ones on Love Island like wearing the proper like thick like diamond ones, and you're just like, and yours was like,
Mine was discreet.
yours was too thick to us, like, but like the ones they're wearing proper
shit,
like
man, yeah.
diamond.
But then I suppose
like,
the ones on Love Island are all walking around with flipping tanned with six packs and all on, and
I'm
it's
tanned with
like
six
I
pack.
know, but you were hardly gonna go out
You
in the
were,
port with no top on, like.
but it's more like,
Bad.
could you imagine what's ones wearing it up here? Like they just wear it every day, like a big fucking like chain. Like.
Can we also discuss how big of an asshole that the bouncer was to us on the way? That one particular bouncer was to us on the way in there. He was just like, no room. And then
I
you looked
know,
in
like-
and there was about 17 tables free, and I was like, no room? What the heck?
It's
do you
just
mean
the
that?
classic bouncer, like they just like to show their authority. So like we basically went up on like this was like bearing in mind this was like 7 o'clock.
This
like,
was early.
at where it was a Kelly's like an outdoor place, like, and went up and the bouncer was like, "Have you a table booked?" And we were like, "Nah," like, and he's like, alright, he's like, well, I'm gonna just have to check if there's any space and all, and he's like, you know, as if, but he's like, it's not looking good. And then like one bouncer sort of looked over at him and like was like, what are you doing? And then he walked over and he's like, well, how many of you is there? And we were like, what was there, six of us?
Yeah.
He's like, alright, no bother. Took us in, literally about 30 tables free, and he's like, yeah, no bother, sit there, like. And you're just like,
You would swear you were trying to get into a fucking top club in LA.
like,
Yeah.
you know, you can just picture it. You could picture it yourself as like just the bouncer, the big black jacket on him, and like the big like walkie-talkies, like beeping in. He's like, oh, funny spaces here now.
No, mate,
And, like,
not
he-
today.
But to be fair, we could see. It wasn't as if there was like a velvet curtain in front and we couldn't see. So it was that anticipation where we were kind of like, is there actually room? We could actually see.
That's what he said as well. That was annoying. He was just like, oh yeah, like we were sort of like looking at. I think one of us might have said, but there's loads of tables there, and he was like, oh, but they're all reserved. And then we went in, and they're like, oh yeah, we're stopping serving at 10 o'clock. And we were just thinking, you're just thinking to yourself, how are these tables gonna be filled then if you are stopping serving in an hour? Like? People are just showing up and not getting any drink. Like.
But this whole COVID thing is really pissing me off now because like I don't know, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't care anymore. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm past the stage now of like me and you went into that shop.
I was
the other
going to
day.
say, I seen you earlier, because we walked out to the car and went to the shop, and I was like, fuck, I need masks. I was like, nah, fuck it, I don't care. So went into the shop and walked straight in, and then sort of like seeing you in the corner of my eye, you were like pulling up to your face, and then you're like, nah, you know what? Fuck it.
Aye,
I'm not going to
'cause,
do it.
mate,
Fuck it, man.
I came in and put the mask up to my face and literally took 2 glances. The shopkeeper wasn't wearing one.
Yeah.
There was 2 geezers standing getting drinks out, talking away without a mask, and I thought, what am I doing this for? Like,
But
what-
I left all my masks in your car. Like, I bought a box of
Yeah,
disposable ones, and I have no masks in the car. And on the way up here, I went into a chemist, and nobody was wearing masks. Like, you think any fucking chemist, like, people would be wearing masks, but even in there, no one was wearing them.
It's sort of weird, like. Because you feel like it's sort of stopped, and then you're hearing in the news it was like things are getting body and all. And then it's weird because in work, like, we'll have like old ones coming in and like in the office, and they're like, oh, I've got no mask with me, and you're like, oh, come on in. And then I had ones in today who had like no masks and like wouldn't even come in. Then they're just like, no, no mask, I'm not gonna come in. And you're like, right.
You should get them in and just be like, oh, I'm just out of isolation there yesterday. Freak them out.
I was we all went on a night out there at the weekend to the Rabbit in Antrim, and this was maybe about 12:30, I would say, and we all we booked like the terrace bit, so like we could all sit outside. And I remember one of the girls saying to like the bouncer or something, and he was just like, oh, you can dance away outside. And they were like, right, okay, what about inside? No. And we were like, right, okay. And then we went inside like towards the end of the night, and we were all sitting like in this like sort of small table. It's like near to the entrance, so there was a bouncer literally standing there, and the band started playing this song, and like 2 of the girls that we were with got up and just within like our own wee bit just started like they were drunk, like, but they were boogieing, if you know what I mean. Boogieing, like, that's the best way to describe it. They were dancing, like, and the bouncer was straight over, like, stop that, sit down. And I'm sitting thinking to myself, like, what's the difference? Because this place is packed. Literally, everybody's rubbing shoulders with each other. To me, it's so stupid now because I'm like, is COVID just outside and looking in and going, flip me? Is the cha-cha slide going on there? I must go in and get a load of that. Like,
that's what happened to us in Bartlett when like you obviously left, but like we stayed on to watch the final of the Euros, like. And I mean, like, it started off like the whole game was fine, and then went to extra time and it was fine. But the penalty shootout, like, everyone was up because like obviously like the majority of people wanted Italy to win. Yeah. And the bouncers were sort of like, anyone who stood up would be like, oh no, sit down there. And then it just got to the stage like everyone was up and the bouncers could do nothing. Like how many people were there? Like, it was madness.
There was one point we were all like standing beside a table, and it was like it was after Saka took his penalty or something.
Yeah.
And everyone was going fucking mad. Like, we were all jumping about and all. And then a bouncer walked up to me and goes, here lad, back to your seat. And like hundreds of people just standing beside you. Why did you just pick me?
Oh no.
He's like, back to your seat lad. And I was like, yeah, heading over here now. And then just done a wee turn around, walked back, and then just went back. But he like, how was he supposed to enforce it? Like,
what about you going into the toilet in the bot and all you heard?
Oh, that was a couple of weeks ago.
You going, because we were all in. We weren't in. That
was
an
a
England
good
match.
Monster show going on.
That was us all in for just a night out, and all you. Can I get a? Oh yeah! And the next minute, oh yeah!
every man in the place.
That was so funny.
Because we walked straight out after we done that, and then everyone was like sort of looking in towards the dais. We're like, what the fuck's going on in there? All these guys screaming, oh yeah.
That was the funniest.
I just think it's getting too hard to enforce it now because like you can't kick everyone out. Really, like, and it's just getting to the stage where it's like people are getting vaccinated and all, and it's like,
I suppose though people don't want an outbreak in their premises. They don't want that reputation like, oh, there's a COVID outbreak in Belfast and it was due to piles of people being in bot, like, you know, people don't want that, because like that's one thing we all talked about whenever this was so big, was you would hate to be the person that give it to someone else. Like it's like, where'd you get it from? Thomas McKeown. Oh my god, scandal.
I know.
I don't even think people care anymore now.
No.
But you made a good point. Maybe segue on to Tommy's question time.
I was gonna
Just get
say
straight
it.
in.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time.
I was basically just going to ask, like, what do you think of, like, over in England, they've basically said, is it like September, August time, they're like, if you're not like double vaccinated by then, you're not allowed to go to nightclubs, like? And I just think it's like, is it not mad how much control the government has? It's just like, if you don't do what you're told, we'll just take away everything from you.
But then apparently for that Dermot Kennedy concert, because we got them email, you going to Dermot Kennedy, no?
No.
We got that email through to basically say that Dermot Kennedy was rescheduled for the 19th of September or something, isn't it? And Lucinda said to me the other day, she was like, you have to be double vaxxed or have a negative COVID test within a certain number of days.
It's like 90, no, something mad or something. What is it? It's within like a certain amount of hours or something.
Is it? Where is it, in Dublin?
Maybe no, it's in Belfast.
It's in Belfast.
So you have to be double vaxxed, like.
The way things are going, you're sort of like, is it gonna go ahead? Like,
is it double? So it's double vaxxed.
You're proper scaring me.
I just think it's getting bad. Like, I think because Bruno works in the hospital as well. It's like she'd be saying, and I'm just like, but I don't think there can be no lockdown. I just think there can't. Like, no way. I think we're too far gone now, and like everyone's getting vaccinated, and hopefully things are gonna be alright. Like. Hopefully everything's gonna be okay. What do you think of that? Like, do you think it's wrong, or do you think it's sort of like fair enough?
No, it's scary, like, isn't it?
The control that they have. Like.
It's like you can do whatever you want on this condition, but like it's shit for those people who don't want to get. I know there's people out there, and it's like a meme where like people are putting like awful shit into their body, and it's the same people who are like, oh, I'm not getting that fucking coronavirus vaccine. But there is genuine people out there who don't want to get it. Like. For proper reasons such as like infertility and stuff like that there. And they're being forced to do that if they want to have any sort of social life after September.
But I mean, realistically, you know what way this is going to go. Like, if this is the way it's going to go in terms of if you don't get it, we're going to take it away. That you know what way. Like I don't need to tell you how it's going to go. Like, if that's how it's going to happen, they're going to take it away.
They will. No, but it's gonna be the same.
People aren't gonna.
But it's gonna be like after going on holidays and all. Like it's gonna be like you can't leave the country unless you're double vaccinated. I think, like this whole vaccination passport thing. It's just gonna. I think it's just gonna become a thing. I don't think it's ever gonna go away. It's just gonna become like the job you get, like any other job.
The job.
But you get jobs in school and all for things, and you don't think twice about it. But it's just because this has just been done. During, like, you know why it's been done, and you know it's a bit mad, but then it's sort of like the ones who don't do it, who won't get the vaccine, you're sort of in a shitty position then.
I wouldn't want to be that person that rocks up, like say there's like 8 of us go on a night out and it's like, no, he can't come in. Why? Because he's not double vaxxed.
Yeah, imagine shit. Or like how many people are going to lose that passport? Because it literally, to me, is it just not a card, like a wee bit of card? Like
I think you can get some up on your phone now. Like it's an NHS thing. I think I've seen nowadays.
Are people gonna start like selling these on the dark web and shit? Like
a fake ID.
Like that's how bad it's gonna get. Like.
But if you're going to that much effort just because you don't want to get it, like it's a bit extreme. I can see why people don't want to get it. I can see why people are annoyed that the government's like, oh, if you don't get it, you can't go out or you can't go on holiday. But at the same time, it's just like, just get it.
I
just the sooner this is all over, the better.
But like people are pure freaking out. But like people do genuinely go into it as if like it's gonna like kill them. Like
I know.
People are proper like looking into it, and like them type of people as well. Like you're wasting your time because they're just not gonna. Did Dylan ever tell you about the time he went and got his vaccine?
No.
You know the way you go into like the wee isolation, like they put you in the room for like 15 minutes to sit just to make sure.
I just sat out in the hall and the trial. Like there was just loads of seats in the hallway.
He turned around and there was this guy. The girl came up and was like, "Did you get your vaccine?" "Yes." "How are you feeling?" "Good." "Okay, take a wee seat there." And then she went to the next person. "Did you get your vaccine?" "Okay, good. Take a wee seat there." And then he said he heard like 4 or 5 of this. She was just like she came up to him and he goes, "I felt really nice after it because I was like, it's nice that she's asking me how I'm doing, but then when I heard her saying the same thing 4 times I realised that I wasn't as special as what I thought I was." And then he
thought she was just going to be a dick to everyone
yeah,
else. Like.
he was
Call him by first name and all. Like.
they got to this, like, I think it was an older guy, and she was, "Did you get your wee vaccine?" "Yes." "And how are you feeling?" "To be honest, not that great." And she went, "Oh dear." And then
Oh dear.
Moved on to the next one.
She went to the next guy. She went, "Well, just you take a wee seat there, and if you feel weird, you just give me a wee shout there. My name's Mary." "Great, Mary, thanks very much." And then she went, "Did you get your vaccine?" "Great, okay, yeah, take a wee seat there." And then I just went at Dylan, heard this thud and looked down, and the guy had like slid off his seat.
I think that happened when I went. I'm pretty sure that happened. It was like someone to the left behind me just sort of fell off their seat, and everyone just sort of turned around, and it was like it's just the nurses just like getting them up. But it's like that's
Imagine
something
being that guy that fell.
that's one thing I thought was just like how nice they were. Like, but then it's so weird because you go up and they're like, "On which arm do you want to get it in?" And I'm just like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Well, which arm do you write with?" And I'm like, "My right arm." They're like, "So we'll go for your left arm then." And then they're like, "And are you scared of needles?" And I'm like, "Not really." And then I was like, and then they're asking all your questions, and then you're thinking to yourself, "Am I scared of needles? When's the last time I got an injection?"
Yeah.
They try to be so sly. They're like, "Are you scared of needles?" Next thing you turn around, she's at fucking 6 inches in the arm.
Oh no, it's just straight in.
Yeah.
Mine was.
I just don't look at it because I
Yeah,
know
They
right
try and
now
catch you off
it'll
guard.
freak
Did they make
me
you
out.
wipe down the seats after?
No.
No.
I had to do that in ours because someone else got up. I didn't know. Like someone else got up
My
whenever
girl-
they were waiting and went up and got wipes and started wiping down the seats and all after it.
My girl was really annoyed at me after because I feel like this could only happen to me because I'm so awkward when it comes to like first time interactions with people. But I rounded the corner and the girl was just like they all stand outside their booths as if they're like standing out for like a parade or something. They're like, and you're like, "Oh my god, which one do I go to?"
Yeah.
So I looked at this woman. She was the only one wearing red, like a red overall, and I said, "I'll go to her because she's different." So I went to her. She was like, "Come on in, what's your name?" And I was like, "Ross." And this was literally a week after I'd fell off the bike and popped my shoulder. She was like, "What arm do you want it in?" And I said, "I think I might get it in my left arm because it's quite sore at the minute. I popped my shoulder out, you see, last week." And she was like, "Do you write with your right hand?" I said, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, we'll put it in the left shoulder anyway." I was like, "No bother." And then did they ask you if you ever had like anaphylaxis?
I can't remember.
Made me read a sheet.
Yeah, she asked me if I ever had anaphylaxis, and I was like, "No." And then as she was putting the needle in my arm, I remembered in like 3rd year I had an anaphylaxis shock and no one ever knew what it was from. Like I ate a Nutella pancake and shit just hit the fan, like swole up like flipping Jabba the Hutt. Afterwards she was like afterwards she said something. She was like, "So do you like needles?" And I was like, "Not really, like I'm not gonna lie." And she was like, "And is that just did you inherit that or not?" I turned around after she stuck the needle in and injected me. I turned around and went, "Well, in 3rd year I had an anaphylaxis shock." And she was just like, "You're telling me that now?" And I was like, and I said, "Oh no, but it's fine. I got tested for it." And she was like, "Good job." And I could just see her looking at me like as if like,
what would you have done if you were like, "No, it's fine"? She just turned around and she goes, "No, it's not." And then next thing she wheels in a bed and she's like, "You're gonna die."
Get him out.
She could have lost her job.
But
like,
not happening. He had an anaphylactic shock when he was 30 and the doctor's like, "Oh shit."
Whole place closes down.
Alarm shutters start going off.
Buys and hazmat suits and all. Oh my god.
Take him to fumigation. But yeah, she said that and I was just like, "Oh yeah, just like I had a wee anaphylaxis shot." And she just was like, "You're telling me that now?" And her face like dropped. She was so nice and friendly, and then she went from being like a flipping Rottweiler, and I was like and she was like, "Did you get what was it from?" And I was like, we don't know. Like I went and got tested and like it was inconclusive. Like they don't know what it was. And they was just, "And how long ago was that?" And I was like, 3rd year. And she was like, "Right, okay." And then at that stage I was like, "I'm just gonna go because clearly I've just ruined your day." Like, so I just left. And then for like the 15 minutes that I was sitting was absolutely shitting myself, thinking like, what's going to happen to me here? Am I going to die?
That's an awkward experience too. Whenever you're sitting and you're waiting to go,
I was about to say
you're
that.
you're like looking at the guy next to you, like, were you in here before me, or was I in here before you? And then you're like looking around waiting for someone else to leave. And like obviously you're not going to just set a fucking timer on your phone when you sit down.
That's what I found so awkward.
No one tells you when to leave. Like you're just sitting there. Because I was with Aoife and I was like looking at her because she just went like 2 minutes before me, and I was like waiting for her to go. And then there was just people just sitting there for like, I think there was people sitting there for half an hour.
Yeah. Oh, there'd be people who have nothing else to do with their lives, and they'll just be like, oh, happy days.
I was just itching to get up.
I'm loving this, just sitting. There's people that brought books and all, and I'm just like, what
off.
is going on here?
Jesus Christ.
That's what I was thinking. I was just like, you're just sitting there and like, they're like, oh yeah, it's 15 minutes. And I sort of thought they'd come down and be like, oh yeah, so this group of you were here. And then I was like sitting there and people started to get up and I was like, how long have I been here?
But do you have to wait the 15 minutes? Like, can you just...
You could probably just walk straight out. Like,
no one would ever
I don't think they're going to be like, where are you going?
Hunt you down and all.
It's not going to be effective if you get up after 15 minutes. Like. But I think I just scroll through TikTok.
Yeah, that's what
How dodgy now is scrolling through TikTok in public?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, my TikTok, I'll just be scrolling through and it'll be like, funny thing, ass. And you're like, and you're in the middle of public, or you're like, right, like, I was scrolling through TikTok the other day. Me and mum and dad were going somewhere, and I was in the passenger seat and my dad was driving. And literally scrolling, and mum was like right behind me to my right.
Oh no.
I was just sitting scrolling. And then the next minute it was just like one of them thirst trap ones where she covered the camera, and the next minute she's half naked and you're just like and then mum's like, who's that?
Your dad had a wee look over, like, fucking hell, right into the hedge.
Down here, put the car off the road. Like, I'm sitting there going like, holy shit, I could have been compromised there.
And do you ever parents ever do that thing where you're like scrolling through or your Instagram or something, and it could just be like a celebrity and they're like, oh, who's that? Do you know that person? And you're like, no, that's like whoever off TV. Like.
There's a guy in, I think he's from here, Belfast.
Right.
And he's on TikTok, I forget his name. Because I actually seen him the other day, but he goes and visits his granny.
Oh, yeah.
And he showed her like a picture.
Is it Calvin or something?
He showed her like a picture. He walked in the other day and he goes, who's that man at the front door? And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, who's the bouncer at the front door? And she shows him a picture of The Rock.
Yeah.
She's like, oh God, I'd never seen him before. There. But what was the one he showed her the picture? What was it? He showed her a picture of someone. He said he was out with someone. I think it was like Nicki Minaj or something, or like Lindsay Lohan or Demi Lovato or something. But he showed her. He goes, do you want to see a photo? And she took it and she was like, oh God, I know her. And I was like Nicki Minaj or something. And
She's some crack, that girl.
there are some very unique TikTokers out there, and there are some good ones coming up from. There are some good ones in Belfast.
That Derry one's very good. I think. Did you say he's from Derry? Is he?
Yeah.
He's so funny. You know?
He's hilarious.
Who?
That one you're
The
on
one you're
about.
on about.
I thought
He's
he was
Scotland.
from. I thought he was up here.
I think he's Derry. I'm not too sure.
We've been making moves on the TikTok, like.
We're looking going well thanks to the juice jar ones.
We'll get a current view count.
Well, we
We'll
got
be
our
looking at it
first.
again next week, and it'll be double.
We got our first million view TikTok.
I genuinely thought the one of me poking Shay in the ass
I
with
was
a
gonna say,
tripod.
Probably
fucking
is.
raging.
I-
It wasn't the
I-
first.
yeah.
Is it a million now?
No, it's not.
No.
I went and checked. This is the first thing I done.
Is
Whenever
it?
you messaged in this morning and said that's on 1 million, I was like, no, it's not. And then I went back and checked. It's
No,
on
it's not, like,
997.3.
It's been on that for a while, is it?
Sick. I'm second.
Maybe someday.
Someday we'll cross them
Using,
borders.
using me as a thirst trap, as you would
Thirsty
say.
boy.
There were actually people that got aggressively pissed off in the comment section of that. They
So
were like,
funny.
why show us this and then not show us the ending? Where
Why'd you not
actually-
why'd you not show us shoving it
It's
up his
just 'cause
ass?
Exactly. That's what people
And
want.
like a wee bit of poo coming out and all that.
Jesus Christ. We'll have to recreate it then. Look.
Because what was the guy? He was like, why
Naked.
why show us the first part and not the second? And then like the confused
Like,
face.
it's
and I was
really
like,
going to affect his life.
oh my God, like, get a life.
People do get pure triggered by things. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I also find it very weird how people are just so honest now on TikTok. Like they just can comment stuff.
Too honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's also people like I've listened to a few podcasts of like YouTubers and stuff, and they all say like TikTok's so toxic and all.
Yeah.
The comments can get a bit rough. Like.
But I think
and
it's
some
because
TikToks you look at the comments, you're like, Jesus.
I think it's because like you have such a chance to like get serious amount of likes on your comment on a video on TikTok.
Yeah.
And people see this as an opportunity to sort of get followers.
That's something I'm only starting to realise is like comments under things are such a big thing now.
Yeah.
Like people just like commenting and like trying to get a big comment.
Like trying to get fucking followers without making a video at all.
Yeah.
What, they just comment on stuff now?
There's comments that get like thousands of likes.
That one on that, I think it got 10k. The top comment on one of the videos got like 10k likes. Like that's more than fucking most of our videos get.
But then as well as that, it was also slightly creepy, the fact that, what was it, we'd put that one up of Amy talking about the woman with the ice situation, and literally someone commented, was like, someone find me her and then literally someone below was just like, this is her on TikTok, also this is her on Instagram. And I was like, what?
People have no shame. No shame.
What? Like, but clearly someone just turned around and went like, okay, because I think we liked her comment and it went straight to the top.
Yeah.
So clearly someone who's vigilant enough will turn around and go, right, okay, that's her. I'm going to type in that exact username, because most people will use the same username across most social medias.
Yeah.
And that's how, but like at the same time, it's just a bit like, right, you would never want to be that person to be like, here mate, I've got you.
No. It's
weird, like.
It's a bit weird, like.
Some of the comments under, like we talked about it before, just people comment just have no shame. Just, and it's always they don't have a profile picture and that, and you're just like.
And it's always old man. Oh my god, why do we always get the old man? So what was that fucking? It was ages ago. Remember the guy fucking? I don't know, something 68. Fucking. Yeah. These guys just look like you're out of bed and all that shit.
Yeah.
But like we always get the old guys who don't know what it is or who it is. Who's attracting them?
It's the TikTok
it's
side.
You. It's you. They think you're an old man.
It's the TikTok side.
You're one of them.
They're all like, oh, look at this old guy with these two young hunks. How can I be like him? Maybe if I hate on him, he'll get kicked out and I can take his place.
Something happened to me the other day, and I was actually quite sad about it, but then I laughed.
I'm kind of scared here. Like, we're talking about old man, and you're like,
no. So basically,
here's my TED talk on old man.
You know the way I was playing that 11-a-side football match?
Yeah.
So I was standing.
I feel like you're gonna start crying.
Oh no, like,
it's getting so intense.
Do you want to talk about it off camera first?
I was standing with a group of mates, and this teacher from my school, I'll not name him because he's actually dead on, like, but he came walking across the car park, and then goes, God, who's that old guy over there? Who's that old grey-haired man there? And I turned around and started looking around, thinking, where is this old grey-haired man? And then he turns around and he goes, it's you. And I was like, oh yeah. I was so distraught. I was like, it is me. I'm the old grey, but I'm not old. I'm 22, fuck's sake.
Youngest.
You're the youngest out of all of us.
I think someone did comment something on one of our TikToks and was just like, is he actually in his 20s and have grey hair? Yes. I'm just going to set the record straight. Yes. You're getting a wee bit of grey hair too.
It's something
Shut
different.
up.
I know.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. We were
were
walking to the shop earlier on, and I see the wee.
You can only see
3 grey hairs coming through,
I'm
and I
trying
went,
to
"Oh."
fucking keep up on the haircuts now, because unless it's faded, you can sort of see a wee patch on the side.
Something different though. I think like you having grey hair, but like
I wouldn't mind if it
your
went
dad
grey.
has
Like,
grey hair, doesn't he?
yeah, I wouldn't mind if it went grey like yours. Like it's fucking
couldn't
nicely
imagine,
faded in and shit. But I have just one fucking circle in the side of my head and a grey eyebrow.
I couldn't imagine you having grey hair.
See, I'm salt and pepper on the top, but the sides are just pure like grey.
Salt and pepper.
That's why I've started getting proper, like my hair cut properly now, is because like the only bit that annoys me is the side of my hair, where it's so grey. Like, whereas the top, I'm like, no, it looks alright. Like,
But you would think that you've got that.
Jesus Christ! I thought you put it on silent.
I'm having fucking
That's so loud.
nightmares. Yeah, yours sort of looks like it's been done by someone.
Oh,
Like it doesn't look.
I've been exposed.
It does. It doesn't. It looks like someone's actually died that for you.
Really?
Yeah,
So
you get
what
away
you're
with
trying
that.
to say is,
Because it's not like
it's a vibe.
it's thinning or anything. Like it's proper thick.
It's just grey.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Just be you.
thanks, man, thanks.
I was gonna ask you,
Sort
would you
of.
dye your hair if you got it grey? But you're already grey, like. So.
I feel like I'm past the point now where most people know me now as, oh, that's Ross,
Grey
and
Ross.
he has grey hair. Where if I turn around and I say, if I walked up here today, you haven't seen me in probably like a week and a bit. If I walked up here with a full head of coloured hair, you would probably be the first one to look at me and go, "You're a cock."
It just depends what. I think if you dyed your hair like blonde or something, you'd be like, alright, fair enough.
If you done it
But
gradually, though.
if you just turn around.
Try to like sneak it in.
Just get like a darker grey like every couple of weeks, and until you were eventually black, no one would notice.
I would like proper dye your whole head of hair like grey, like the top, like a nice silvery colour.
Go for it.
Like Philip Schofield.
Why do you keep referring me to Philip Schofield?
I don't
Now,
know.
how many times I want to get a counter on this podcast?
It's just the same vibe. Like.
Oh, that was that whenever you and Philip Schofield were together. Why do you picture me and Philip Schofield together?
just like
I feel like
the
this
only-
is some fantasy Thomas has.
It's just like
Perfect
the only
couple.
grey-haired celebrity I can think of. Like.
Salad in a pasty, you filthy pervert. But what else has been strange or startling with you?
I was in London.
You were in London,
Yeah.
getting 20,000 steps a day.
I know, some walking, some shops.
Heat waving.
Do you want?
What?
Was it hot?
It was warm enough. It wasn't like unbearably hot. Like. It was warmer here when we came back. The week
Fuck,
back
it
we
was
came
hot
back,
here.
it was
Holy
roasting all week.
Oh my god.
I just think the mad thing about London is like everyone always says it, but it's like everyone's in just a rush everywhere. Like you get the train, like the tube, and it like comes like the train comes like every 2 or 3 minutes, and it's going to the same place,
Yeah.
and people still run to the tube. To me, that's insane. Like.
And there's gonna be 1-2 minutes later. Like.
Yeah, like literally, I mean, sprinting like as if
Was it
their
you?
life depends on it. Like.
Was it you sent me the video whenever he was in London, or right before he went to London, about the guy talking about the moped gangsters?
Oh yeah.
Did you send that to him as well, or
We
did you
talked about
just
that,
send
didn't
that
we,
to
no?
me?
We've talked about that
We talked
before,
about that.
You sent it
But I
to
sent
me.
it. Did I send it to you?
I
Pretty
don't,
sure
I don't
sent it to
know.
you. And it was like someone was like straight out fucking that grimy song, and like there's all these fucking wee boys coming on mopeds just stealing handbags and shit. Like.
But they're
Scary, like.
they're assessing the situation. It's mad whenever you see it from their point of view. They're just
Yeah.
like, see that girl there, she's walking across, she had AirPods in, and literally her phone's there, and he was just like, I could literally walk up and just
Aye, because it was him talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it was one of them ones, like where it's like the actual
He's
criminal.
like eyes on the back of his head and all. He's like talking about a girl like walking fucking half a mile behind him. He's like looking right into the camera. You see that there girl there with the blonde hair, brown necklace. Her nails are pink with purple stars on them. See the way she's holding her
Target
phone in her
acquired.
left hand. Her pinky's too far out. I could just drive straight past and swipe that. Like. It's fucking scary. Like
How, like,
people are actually
yeah,
paying
how
that much attention to you.
clued
Like.
in they are to some
Yeah.
simple things.
Like if he put that much effort into his fucking schoolwork, sure he'd probably be a
Schoolwork.
billionaire. Like, you know, he could be a fucking doctor or something. Like.
But the
Yeah.
fact that he has the actual audacity to come on and talk about it as if it's like a full-time job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it'd be the equivalent of someone doing like a documentary on like a brickie or something, and you're just like, so this is how we do it. He's actually literally
Yeah.
admitting, I
Yeah.
steal shit for a living,
I know.
and this is how I do it. I'm gonna let you inside my world, and it's
But it just shows they've no fear. Like
No.
if that was me and I was doing that, like I'd have in the back of my head, oh, this is gonna be a fucking sting operation. Like someone's trying to get me on an interview here, and then the next thing,
Yeah.
cop's gonna bust in and bust me. Like.
he's
But
got a wire.
He just didn't give a fuck. Animal.
I know.
So one thing I think you noticed about London was the amount of shops. Like what, like in comparison to Belfast, how are we rating it? Like
I think the shops, like, it's sort of like the same sort of thing. It's like, you know, the way you go to like a shopping centre, it's the same sort of shops everywhere. Like.
yeah,
But it's just
JD, Primark,
yeah.
Boots.
They have all the same shops, but it's just like
Bigger.
there's so many, like, and then there's like the designer shops and stuff, and then like we went out to like Westfield, like it's a big shopping centre, and it's just the same shops. Like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think you expect to go. I sort of expected to go and see all these like unique shops. Like.
Yeah.
And then I went into like all like sneaker stores and all like proper like ones around London, and like you think, oh yeah, I'll go in and like maybe spend a bit more money on a pair of shoes. Like. The money's mad. Like. It's like I lifted a pair of like Dunks, like, and I was like thinking, oh, if these were like under 200 quid, I'd probably get them. Like, one to your guys like, how much these? He's like, yeah, they're 600. Or like they're £400, and I was just like,
There are cheaper
and you
shoes.
feel so awkward because like when you ask them how much it is, and then you're just putting them back. Like, do
And
you
you're
know
like,
what I mean?
Do you want them?
And they definitely get it all the time, and they know, they definitely know straight away. They're like, nah, he's not buying anything here. Do you know what I mean?
You'd love to walk in on those places and just clean it out though, wouldn't you?
That's crazy. There was one of them I went in and they had, you know, like the Back to the Future Nike shoes. Like.
Yeah.
They're like worth like 25 grand.
Oh,
like.
the ones that pure lace themselves up.
Yeah.
Class.
Like enclosed in a glass box and all. It's like metal.
Air Max.
Crown jewels.
Yeah, and I seen Noel Gallagher as well.
Air Mags.
It's no big deal. Like. Nobody knows.
Gallagher.
There's like this next
You
door.
got them like?
No, there's like this next door in London, and like you go up, it's like 3 floors, and the middle floor has like a big glass like box like room, like you can see in it, and it's like, you know, the whole Nike by you, like the unique like whatever, and it's just like this big like white like minimalistic desk and all, and there's like we went in, and there was like one day, it was like the last day, I think we were just going around the shops one more time now, and I looked at him and I thought, fuck, he looks familiar, like, and then it clicked to me, he had like the haircut and just dressed how you'd imagine he dressed, like, and I was like to Bruno, I was like, that's Noel Gallagher, and like walked around and like was doing loops of the thing, like looking to see, and I was like, that's definitely him, like that's Noel Gallagher, but like no one else cared, like, and I'm just like, this is insane. But like he was in like a big room, so I couldn't even go to him, like, go in and ask him for a photo or anything. But I just
couldn't get to him. I was banging on the glass.
I just feel like he would be the type of celebrity, if you were like, oh, can I get a photo with you? He'd just be like, fuck off.
Yeah. And I'd say that's why people probably did notice he was there, but they were like, I'm not going here because he'll kick the fuck out of me if I say anything.
But I'd think a lot of celebrities would be like, oh.
Yeah. Well, rightly so.
And then there's one time in Paris we seen Pierce Brosnan, like literally as soon as we got there, walked out of the hotel and just walked down the street and passed him, a big group of women.
Turns out he
was, and then I was like, holy shit, Pierce Brosnan. And then you're walking on and he's walking on, and then we turned around and like Brown like went to take a photo of him, and like he sort of like waved then, but then we didn't go over.
That's so awkward.
It was just such it's just like such a surreal thing. Everyone thinks it's like, oh, you meet a celebrity and it's like the best thing ever. Like the thing that happened to me with Mumford and Sons was obviously mad, like, but like it's just not like that at all, because like it sort of takes a while to click.
Yeah, I think it's mad though, like that. I've talked about that before, but like that time was like, if you'd asked me who would you meet, who would the one celebrity you would want to meet in like the whole world, I would have said Marcus Mumford, and like you'll never ever think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
And then literally like that is the first celebrity I've ever met, apart from like a couple of like low key like YouTubers and stuff, like who in that
like Casey Neistat. I wouldn't call Casey Neistat a low key YouTuber,
but like not Casey Neistat.
No, I didn't meet Casey Neistat. I met Peter McKinnon.
Oh, Peter McKinnon.
Yeah,
sorry.
Peter McKinnon.
Same thing.
Yeah, Peter McKinnon was quite a big deal at the time because I was really into the photography.
But he's
so watched him all the time.
Like compared to when you would have met him.
But yeah, this is just it.
But you hear such shit stories of celebrities as well. It sort of puts you off, and then you hear celebrities going on podcasts now and talk about how much they hate like people coming up to them and all, and it just like that completely puts me off ever going up to anyone.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be that one who's like, and you know they're just thinking, oh, like,
just want to be that.
Here they go. But then people are so flipping weird now. Like there will be people who will walk up and like, imagine someone just walking up to you in the middle of the street and being like, oh, is that like, say like, this podcast completely blows up, goes worldwide, make that happen, and someone just walks up to you in the street and goes, Shay Cullen, hey, and walks off. You'd be like, wait, what? Like, I wouldn't care if someone was
picking your nose or something.
Yeah. I keep bringing him up because I've seen so many videos of him. Justin Bieber just seems like a right cock. But then I suppose when you've been through what he's been through.
Oh no, he's had like, I can sort of see it as well. When you actually do see the clips of the way paparazzi go on, like that's a different thing.
But then the way he speaks to fans is so weird, because like, do you ever see that video of him, and like there was a few people standing outside his house and he was just like, guys, this is my home, do you know what I mean? This is where I go in to chill, and like I don't like the vibe if you're standing out there and they're just like, yeah. They're like out there and you're like, right, I would just be like, mate, that's my house.
I've seen, you would.
But he's probably done that too, and it doesn't work.
Imagine transitioning into that life where like you go about your daily, but you also have to think like, oh, here, you know what, I can't roll out of bed in the morning and go down and make myself a cup of coffee in my boxers because there's probably going to be someone hiding in my bush.
Yeah, but you like, what was I going to say? You can see why like you get frustrated. Like he's been famous since he was like 15. Like you can see why now he's like what, 27, and he's at the stage where he's just like, I couldn't give a fuck. Like I don't care about your opinion.
He's never really known any different.
I was listening to a podcast and there was actually Niall Horan was on doing it, like, and he told a good story of like he was like on a plane and he was like putting his bags and all in the overheads, like, and like this girl was right behind the seat behind him and she sort of was acting as if she didn't know who he was, like, and he was like, I don't mean to like act arrogant, like, but he's like, come on, like she knew who it was, and she was being all like, oh, do I know you? He's like, oh, I think I went to college with you, like, and all, and like, is your name this and all this here stuff, and he was sort of like humouring, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever, like, and then he says he like sat down and all, and then next like the plane landed and he like opened up Twitter and she took a video of him sleeping and posted it on Twitter.
Oh my god.
On like, I think it was like Laura Whitmore's podcast, And she said, and did you say anything there? And he was like what's the point? Like he's just like, what are you gonna say? Oh, why did you do that? Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, but like for someone, and then she made the point of like, just like if she'd have just asked you for a photo, and he was like, I would have just been like, no, well.
Yeah. But then I would feel bad. I would kind of feel like you missed an opportunity if you did, like, say you were working in a shop and you served a celebrity you didn't actually know. Because I was listening to, I think it was a podcast the other day, and it was Tony Hawk was on, and he was saying like he's been at skate parks before, and like people have walked up to him and goes, "Oh mate, do you not think you're wild old to be at a skate park?" Just literally Tony Hawk.
Know who he was, or
yeah. He's like, mate, do you not think you're wild old to be at a skate park? Or like whenever he's been checking into places, he said like, "Oh, my name's Anthony Hawk." Or like Tony Hawk, and people have been like, "Oh, like Tony Hawk, like the skater." And he's been like, "Yes, like the skater," but they have no clue like he is that. Because like you think like if I could say to someone, "Oh, you know Tony Hawk," and they'll be like, "Yes," but they'll probably not even know what he looks like.
No.
Because they'll think the game, like he's at the Olympics now, but no one will actually think like what he actually looks like.
I think it's when you do put them into like everyday situations as well. Like they're so like you wouldn't really think.
Yeah.
But every day, like I've just heard such shit stories, and even like we went out, we were doing the 12 pubs one Christmas, and Kit Harington was in the same pub as us, and he was literally playing pool, and we were like playing pool on the pool, like the table beside him, and I went up to the barman, and this was like when Game of Thrones was like still on, and I was like, "Oh, is that like?" I was like, "Fuck, is that Kit Harington over there?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, like what's he like?" With like photos and stuff, and he just was like shaking. He's like, "Don't you not asking for a photo?" Like he's like, and then like the guy, he was playing a game with a pool with someone, like obviously just had asked him for a game, and after it he was like, "Oh, can I get a photo?" And he said no and all, and I was just like, it was so hard to watch. Like,
was he not dragged out of that pub like a few weeks
Yeah.
after that? Like,
Imagine
that. Imagine he smacked
head.
you.
But did you see that video?
Yeah.
They were dragging him out, and he was like, "You can't kick me out. I'm the king of the north."
Yeah.
Sure, I met Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
Whenever we were met in Titanic. I walked.
Did you?
I didn't meet
Were you
her.
talking to her?
No,
Like?
I walked past her.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking. I walked past her, and I remember seeing this girl, and she was dressed like. I don't think you get it now in Belfast, because there are people who are like, I feel in the past year or two have got really like confident in how they dress, like in terms of their dress differently. But I remember walking past this girl, and I was on my way over to the Spar to get a wrap or something, and literally walked past this girl and kind of just looked at her, and she had sunglasses on, but like this big long coat and like these like weird sort of funky shoes and like trousers. And I remember going, that's very like niche, like I've never seen anybody like, it's very like London, if you know what I mean, like pure style. And I remember walking past and kind of just giving her a second glance, and just walked on. And then literally as I was standing in the queue in the Spar, a girl that I know that used to go to school with me, she went to Met as well, and she put up a post and was like, it was like 3 minutes ago, and it was like, we met Maisie Williams, but she didn't want a photo. And then she like zoomed up in her as she was walking away, and she was like, "Yes, Queen," like that there, and she was pure like doing like the peace sign and all. And I was like, that was her.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying that to you, or I remember saying it to like Lucinda or something. I was like, I literally have just walked past Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones, and she was like, "No, you didn't." I was like,
missed your chance.
Opportunities.
But like, what would you have done? Walked up and went, "Oh, sorry, can I get a photo?" No. Okay.
Bye.
Well, how's filming going? Can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how long are you here for? Can't talk about that either. Okay.
I don't know.
Have you been in the Spar there? They do wild days and wraps.
Wildness and wraps.
Sausage
Here,
rolls are real
you
butter.
know where you get a good wrap? In that Spar. Thanks.
But we should maybe wrap it up there, because we've been talking for 40 minutes.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
I think I want to mention one more thing before we go, do
What?
we? About the fiasco that happened.
Oh yeah.
The scenes that have happened here. Can we put a disclaimer as well at the start of this? If you are the people responsible for this, we will find you. And trust me,
You don't sound too scary, like.
we're close to finding you. Like,
Big grey Rossi's coming for you, baby.
And it'll be one of them times that, and listen to me when I say this, you'll not know we're there until we're there, breathing down your neck, and you will regret the day that you took our soundboard. But also, how's the soundboard working for you with no frickin' AC lead, you
Oh, no.
twat?
Yeah. So
Explain the situation.
got robbed, like. So like
gunpoint?
basically it was like the week we went to London, came back on the Friday, and like then went home, and we had like a graduation party at the house, and you were there obviously. Then on the Sunday came back up, and the house was broken into, like. It was mad, like. Everything gone, like PlayStation 5, fucking TV, soundboard, everything.
But it was like you were like giving us the updates and sort of as it was happening, it's like fucking live updates. Like, it was like right, PS3's gone, and then fucking 10 minutes later.
PS5, PS3, I wouldn't give a fuck.
PS5's gone, TV's gone, and then fucking 10 minutes later, what was it? Yeezys are gone.
Yeah.
And then what were you saying? They also stole.
So like I had like, you know, like the vintage United shirt, like the blue and white one.
I can't believe they took that. Like.
But like the thing I thought was a bit funny was like it's a replica I got off Depop, and it was like 30 quid.
Yeah.
And they're like, if they're real jerseys, like they're like worth £300 now. So like I'll be able to get a new one, but it's more just like literally everything that I liked was taken. Like it was so annoying.
This was our chat. Our flat's been robbed. Shay, F off. What? New soundboard, need it. There's me going, shit. Shay going, what? PlayStation gone. 2 seconds later, TV gone. 1908, headset gone. And then Trump's about. But like, you cannot do anything about that.
Yeah,
like, and that is literally low life scum who, like, it's exactly what you said. You work hard for nice things, and like I know, like, not to get sentimental, how hard you actually have worked in the past year, and then people literally just come in and go, I'll take that.
I'll have that.
And they took your here to whoever took his Yeezys. I hope they don't fit.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, here. What
Big
size
feet.
are you? Size 8?
9.
Size 9. I hope you're a size 11, you twat.
I know, so on.
Fuck.
What do you do though, like?
You can do nothing.
And
man.
then the police as well. Like,
And nobody will do anything for you.
the police are useless, like, honestly. It's so annoying when you do just realise how useless the police are. Like.
But you want it, you do. It's not as if we're fucking living in the old days where we're just fucking off the place and all. Like, we're genuinely, you're trying to give them a chance here. Like, give them an opportunity to do something good and fucking get their finger out and do something about this.
Because you see, if they turn around and come back to you with like literally like Father Christmas with all your stuff at the front door,
even
we
fucking one thing,
we would be on here being like, here, the PSNI are alright.
I just have no expectations. It was just like, even when they came in, like it was like, so like you go into the flat and then like it's like literally down the hall, the fire escape door, like that smashed the glass in, but it was like toughened glass, so it was like hanging off the door. These 2 police women came in, let them in, and one of them goes, and so where is it they broke in? And I was like this is just a way to kick it off. Like, I was just like, right. I goes, well, here,
see that big massive hole in the door?
And then I was like, right. And then came in, and like one of them sat on the couch, just
scrolling through TikTok.
Literally, I sat at the table, and one sat beside me, like basically asking her what's been taken, like where have you been, blah blah blah. The other one sat on the couch, like, I mean, straight away, phones out, scrolling away, and I'm like, are you for real?
But she could have been playing a game with you know, the one that went in and asked you, because like
cop,
she could have been
she
could have been coming in going like, so where did they break in? And you were like, oh, the window. And she could have been like, how'd you know they broke in the window? And then sussing you out, like if she could have caught you out there, like trying to say,
stole your own stuff, man.
Stole your own stuff.
And then CSI come in, we've dusted the door down for fingerprints, and yours has come up. And Thomas is like, Thomas has an existential moment. Shit, did I actually rob my own flat? Because that's one thing. You were on FaceTime with me, and she came in and she goes, I pulled a few prints off the door, and that was the first thing I thought of. Was I was like, shit, my prints are probably on that door.
She didn't.
I have a PlayStation 5.
They didn't even got prints. She's like, I didn't get any fingerprints, but I got DNA. And I was like, right.
What is DNA like?
I don't know, but like,
someone just come in and start spitting everywhere.
That's the annoying thing, is like, you see on TV and like
they seen the United shirt just everywhere.
The only thing I could think of was like her, but like it's gonna be like yours or Rona's or something. Like,
oh no.
Like,
does anybody in the flat have grey hair? It's Ross.
What was I gonna say?
Semen samples.
That's pure gone now. What was I gonna? Yeah, no, it's like you watch TV. Like, I've never rang the police about anything before. Like, really, like, and I was like I rang the police, and like, you're dialing 999, and like, and then you have to go and ring 101 and all this here shit, and you sort of think police car will be out like Atla, and then I was like, they're like, oh yeah, like, we'll send someone out, you know, if someone hasn't come out in like the next hour or so, like, ring back. I'm sort of thinking there's gonna be someone out like straight away, like fucking sirens and all. So they show up. I mean, it would have been at least an hour like after, and they're like, right, okay, come in. And then they're talking about like the door's broken into, like, by the way, like, and they're like, yeah, so like CSL be out, you know, just to see if they can get any fingerprints and all, you know, just so just don't be touching anything under the door handles or anything. Like, that's another question they asked that annoyed me. They were like, have you touched the door handles? And I was like, yeah. I was going in and around the room seeing if anyone was taken, what's been taken, like. And they're like, alright, okay. And then they're like, this is when they were leaving, they're like, oh no, they were sitting here and they were like, oh, so like just try not to be touching the door handles or anything, you know. And I was like, right, so when will CSI be out, like? And this was like 7 or 8 o'clock on Sunday night. And they're like, well, if they're like looking to watch, they're like, well, look, if they're not out by like 10 it'll probably not be the next morning, like. It'll be sometime tomorrow morning. And I was like, right. And I was like, well, what are we meant to do about the door? Like, it's not really that safe. And they were just like, that's really up to like you, you know, we can't tell you not to fix the door, we can't tell you to fix the door. And I was like, right. And I was like, well, I've rang the landlord and there's someone coming out tonight to look at the door, like. And they're like, it's up to yourself. Like, the window's smashed in, like anyone could just come through the door at any. And I've just been robbed. I'm a bit like alert, like. I'm not like, oh no, it'll probably be alright, you know.
The boys come back again. They forgot something.
Jesus
here, mate.
Christ.
We forgot the we forgot to take our
That's
monitor.
what
Come on ahead, windows
everyone
open.
like after was like, oh, you just think, you know. And I was like, about people coming back, and are you not worried about like one's breaking in? And I'm like, there's nothing else left to take.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Start lifting the fucking radiators off the
Oh
wall.
my god.
And plus, as soon as that happens, you've obviously locked everything like tightly. Like the
Yeah.
flat's more secure than probably what it's ever been. Like.
It's just so
For
annoying. I
now.
just like the police. It was just annoying me, but then I knew myself I didn't really have much hope. Like.
Yeah.
But it's just like on TV, you see like, oh, the police go to so much effort
You
to
were
do
thinking-
things.
You were thinking you're a ginger guy to fucking CSI Miami who's
Yeah.
gonna land out with the glasses and all. Be like, this looks like
I know, but
a
like,
crime scene.
I just expected like more
How did
effort.
they get in? I think they came through the window. Smash glass everywhere. No shit, Sherlock.
Like, absolutely no urgency. Like, and then there's CCTV about it, and like I was saying to you, like this was like 2 weeks after like we were playing football, and I had a missed call, and it was a voicemail, and it was like one of the girls who came out, and she was like, oh yeah, she's like, I've just been on like night shifts and stuff, and she's like, I haven't had a chance to look at the CCTV yet, but like I'm just letting you know I'm gonna have a look at it now.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, is there nobody else in the police that could have looked at it while you were doing night shifts? Like that thing, like it's just,
The
I don't
thing-
understand how they work at all. Like.
The thing that really amused me, not to
Amused.
say,
Is it funny? Is it?
well, yes,
Amused?
it is, because you message in and you're like, TV gone, and you're like, oh shit, PlayStation gone,
Dildo
Yeezys.
gone.
Yeezys,
Flashlight
vibrating
gone.
Rabbit 4000 gone, and you're just like, oh man, that's so, and then we come up here, like literally the next week, and you go into the box where the sound, like they took the soundboard, because clearly they're going to start a podcast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you realise, you think to yourself, here, maybe they did know what they were doing. Like, they knew where the valuable stuff was. They knew by looking at Yeezys that we were expensive. But then you turn around and they're like, they took the soundboard, but they didn't take the power cable. And you're like,
Yeah.
right, clearly these guys are not as sophisticated as what we think they were.
I think I would have been more annoyed if that fucking blue lead went missing.
Yeah.
Because that's like...
That's like gold dust.
That's
That's like gold
you
dust.
can't get them. You can't get them.
Imagine Thomas is,
I might sell-
Tom-
I might
Thomas is
race-
like, Yeezy's gone. Shit, mate. TV gone. Oh, shit, mate. PlayStation gone. Lads, they took the blue lead. No! It's all over now.
I could
Man,
probably,
I would have went in a manhunt.
Shay would have got the flipping investigator. Shay would have been looking for Scania parts out around the
I would have been out with a fucking Johnson's baby powder and
duster.
my man's fucking foundation
I'll
brush.
probably resell the blue cable and replace hammering. Like.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
fucking rare. Like. But yeah, that's it. What
So-
do? It's just gone forever.
Anyone sees a signboard up with no attachments, send it our
And
way.
everyone's like, oh, you should watch out in Facebook Marketplace to see if anything goes up. And you're like,
I've
yeah,
already
I'm
done
just
it.
going to start messaging people. Like, did you steal that from my house by any chance? Like, what? Like, people come up with such shit.
Mate had one of those real similar in my flat in Belfast, give the address and all.
And then
It was
there's like
robbed
just
that night.
hindsight. Like, oh my god! Like your boy Adam
Oh,
was up,
yeah.
and I had we had a money box. Like just we were saving for like a mortgage. Like we were just putting any cash in it, and it was sitting on the worktop. Obviously, he took it. And then your mate Adam comes up and he's like, why did you not hide that in the cupboard there? And you're just like, I know, Bala. The fucking check.
Why'd you not freeze your Yeezys in water and
Oh,
put them in the
no.
freezer and leave them there? Then they would have had to defrost them before they could take
Everyone's
them.
like, you should probably take those things with you when you leave the house. And you're like, yeah, I'll think of that when I go back in time.
But yeah, that's one thing
Can't
that
mind
is
it.
sad. I walked in today and I was like, if they did come back, like, what are they gonna take?
I know.
Like, there's a Russell Hobbs kettle over there if you feel like you want to come in and make yourself a cup of tea, but like that'll be about it. Like, there's literally nothing more of value apart from the sofa.
Didn't take our mics.
Don't encourage this, because you see I'm taking the mics home now. I'm taking the full kit, so there's nothing left to rob.
Ross does inventory check every night he leaves.
Hitting up Ballymena now.
What's your address?
Be searching for me. They're gonna tail me home. I'm gonna see a suspicious car. These guys are coming for their podcast. I wonder what they call their podcast. Oh dear.
Smick's gone chat.
But anyway, we will find you. This is not over.
Ross will be at your door. But yeah,
that's it then. What do you do?
Nothing.
Eventful week.
Start a GoFundMe.
We move on. We rebuild and we move on.
We come back stronger.
Exactly. We come back stronger. We got this new soundboard.
Exactly
which
the
you will
same.
not find at this establishment anymore unless I'm here. Good luck.
So if you want to donate to the GoFundMe, link in bio.
Imagine.
Get Tommy's Yeezys back.
PlayStation Yeezys. Please, thanks.
Pleasies. Right.
Pleasies replace me. Yeezys.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll end that there. There's probably going to be no podcast next week because
someone has to fucking bail on us.
I will not be here. But yeah.
And remember to like, subscribe, and follow.
And give us a rating on Apple Music. And also, go listen. I feel like we should say, go listen to the Just Jar podcast, because I actually find that very interesting. We talk about food and what you're putting into your body, and if you're...
What are you putting into your body?
Back and front.
Yeah. And it was just very interesting all around. But yeah. Anything else to add?
No. Thanks. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.